20,000 years into the future. The predator is reaching to the nations. Energize the massive sound of the DJ. Enjoy the sensation of Ramadan. Welcome.
Of talking, because we all we seem to do is talk, and people are dying, people are being raped, people are being oppressed, and we know this. So what is our strategy to ensure that these things stop?
The family of Africa, we this family of Africa, come great spirit, come and bless us, come great spirit, come and be with us. We, the family of Africa.
And embargo number 3, as we said here about religion, you know, our pastors from our country, they hold millions of people in their churches, but they don't speak about people that are being raped every day or died every day.
This has become what has never been seen in the history of Congo, in the history of Africa before, where you have women are raped repeatedly, not only rape in the front of the...
I mean, when you look back, the brother was speaking about the rape and the violence against our women. Can you imagine the psychological trauma that must have on our people, on our children, on our elders, witnessing this travesty occurring, their own sons brutalizing and dehumanizing African people in their own continent? It is outrageous, and we really shouldn't even be sitting here standing for it. We really need to mobilize ourselves and get credit.
Voilà cette petite fille-là qu'on a violée et qui a moins de 6 ans. On l'a arrachée des bras de sa mère quand elle fuyait les atrocités entre les groupes militaires. Alors, on l'a violée de manière indescriptible, si bien que les organes génitaux et les rectums étaient ensemble, tout était ensemble. Elle aussi, elle avait été violée en fuyant les combats. Elle avait dit que ce n'était plus seulement pour satisfaire les besoins, mais peut-être dans un but de détruire, parce que je ne vois pas le plaisir qu'on peut avoir en violant une petite fille de moins de 6 ans. Voilà cet autre-là. Qui ne sait plus déjà marcher maintenant, puisque nous estimons qu'il y a eu peut-être une fracture quelque part qui a mal consolidé. Peut-être qu'elle voulait opposer une farouche résistance pour qu'on ne puisse pas la violer. Alors les gens ont utilisé leur force, et à partir de ce moment-là, elle ne savait même pas ce qui s'était passé avec elle. On nous l'a ramenée ici dans un état de conscience. On l'a soignée, elle a récupéré petit à petit, et nous estimons que maintenant elle commence même à sourire un peu, ce qui nous fait grandement plaisir, parce que c'est une fille qui a fait presque 3 mois sans jamais sourire à quelqu'un. Et nous avons aujourd'hui à peu près 2012 femmes qui ont été étiquetées, consultées par les médecins et révélées comme étant effectivement des femmes violées. Il y en a au moins 86 maintenant qui ont subi une intervention chirurgicale. Alors, parmi les interventions chirurgicales que nous avons eu à effectuer ici, ce sont souvent des fistules, parce qu'il y a effectivement la notion de violence, de viol avec empalement. C'est-à-dire après l'acte sexuel, on utilise les morceaux de fer, ou bien des tiges, ou bien des clous, ou bien parfois ce sont des barres de fer qu'on introduit, ou bien de bois qu'on introduit dans les organes génitaux de la femme.
The problem we have is not even the enemy without, it's just the enemy within. We could not be in the situation that we are in unless the enemy within colluded with the enemy without.
When we get into Africa, we cannot come and begin to practice our militancy in Africa, you know. You have to practice it here. You understand? So when we talk about going into the Congo or going into Africa, it's a serious thing.
Our leaders don't choose the Prime Minister for this country. But why the Western people have to choose the leader for Africa? Why can't they let African people to choose their own leaders? That's exactly why we are here for. We are tired. We want to go home. But before we go home, this must be done. Thank you very much.
Yes, China is coming into Africa and is showing signs of supposedly helping. China has its own agenda. China's agenda has nothing to do with African people. The Asians are coming in. Their agenda is for the advancement of their own people. They couldn't care less about Africans. Remember, these are the same Asians who are in Kenya and in other parts of Africa running away without resources.
Interesting to know that India and Pakistan can't have the armies together in Asia, but they can be together in the Congo.
Anyone that is coming to Africa, whether they be Arabs, whether they be Europeans, Chinese, Indian, whosoever, they come in there as robbers, as thieves, as parasites.
You have heard my brothers from the Congo in them army gear ready for battle. For we are reminding us that we are a people at war. And that war has been going on, brothers and sisters. 500 years under the Europeans and 100 years under the Arabs. Don't forget those Arabs. Don't forget those Arabs. So oceans of blood, African blood, has been and is still being shed. And it must stop.
And we told those brothers that as you are feeling that you are okay, you just stay there in Congo and you can go and preach all over the Congo. But don't come here to tell us what you think that Jesus is going to do here because we are there off. But our people there, they are suffering. You can try to speak out to those people and try to let the world know that there's something wrong, and you don't do that. That's why we say there is no any pastor from Congo to come in Britain here to preach. This is what we do.
It's right that we should gather in the name of the Congo. The first time I had the opportunity to study the Congo was in 1984. When I was asked, brothers and sisters, to do a paper for the Pan-African Congress Movement's African Heroes Day. And by the grace of the Almighty Mwari Nyakusika, God the Creator, the God of Africa, I was given to study Patrice Lumumba and to present a paper on Patrice Lumumba. I didn't know anything about Patrice Lumumba in 1984. I had just come on Liberation Road a year earlier. But I give thanks and praises every day that I was given that task. Because as I studied and I read and I interviewed those who were learned and elder to myself, I was moved to tears, literally. As I delivered the paper, tears were in my eyes. Because I had never known such love and fearlessness and courage.
And I would say to anyone here, if they haven't seen the film about Patrice Lumumba, I saw it once, I didn't watch it again, but it was necessary to watch it. When you see the brutality of how they murdered Patrice Lumumba, it is crucial that as harrowing and as evil as his death was, we never forget that he was chopped into pieces and thrown into a burning barrel by Europeans. That is the mindset that has imprinted itself on some of our people, which is why they carry on in such bestial ways.
Really, what I want to say is, let's stop talking now. let us get serious in and critical in our analysis. We really have got to put together an international revolutionary
our power. That's why I'm confident, you know. I have no fear. I have no fear whatsoever. I am confident. I'm confident that Africa must be free. Earthquake, lightning, brimstone, fire, or by manhunt. Give thanks.
The Congo need revolution. They needed it in the 60s. They needed it.
Simple. He said, brothers and sisters, we will not rest until every blade of grass, every particle of dust is firmly fixed in the hands of the black man and the black woman. These are the words of Patrice Lumumba.
Here I'm one of the combatants, these people standing here with combat uniform to show that we are fighting. We are fighting for our people back home. We are fighting for our independence, true independence. I want to tell you about this revolution, as my brother was speaking here. We are all here revolutionary people in this country, as we started in 2005 to speak out. We be organizing some demonstration, very, very powerful demonstration in this country, and we put in place some instructions from this government. They know exactly what all those people operate here, because we did put an embargo to all these politicians, corrupt politicians from our country, because they are giving them money and they are seeing their people, their brothers and sisters be killed. 8 million, now we are about 10 million dead, and they don't speak because they are giving them money. They're just taking money, they're just keeping quiet, they don't want to talk about it. But we told them that here, as we stand up and speak about what is going there, and you don't want to speak, you are not allowed to come in this country. All politicians from my country, Republic Democratic of Congo, they don't come here. If they do, we have to beat them, we have to chase everywhere they are, and they have to go back to Congo and live there peaceful, because they got money, but our sisters and brothers and sisters and children are suffering. This is embargo number one. The embargo number two, it was the musician. Do you know, myself, I know Jamaica. I never been Jamaica, but I know Jamaica because of Bob Marley. He was crying about slavery, about suffering of black people, and singing about Zimbabwe, Nelson Mandela, Africa. That's why everybody in the world knows about Jamaica. But now our musicians, they don't speak out about Congo, and they don't even mention the suffering which is being in Congo. That's why we told them that there's no music in this country where we are here, because we fight for these people and we don't want to listen. We don't want to be distracted about this kind of music. And embargo number three, as we say here about the religion, you know, our pastors from our country, they hold millions of people in their churches. But they don't speak about people who are being raped every day or died every day. And we told those pastors that as you are feeling that you are okay, you just stay there in Congo and you can go and preach all over the Congo. But don't come here to tell us what you think that Jesus is going to do here, because we are better off. But our people there, they are suffering. You can try to speak out to those people and try to let the world know that there is something wrong, but they don't do that. That's why we say there is no any pastor from Congo to come in Britain here to preach. This is what we done. And the fight which we are doing here has been well received by British government, And everybody who get problems about immigration problem, about what arrestation or what, they know that not those people, they got right to do what they are doing, because they are doing they are fighting about their country. And since then, they give embargo to all these those journalists, this media. They don't speak out about Congo. There's no media around the world speaking about what is going on in Congo. About 10 years on now, 8 to 10 million people died. The forgotten war, forgotten genocide in Congo, which the world never had. That's why we ourselves, we say enough is enough, and we're gonna do something to show the world that the revolution is something which is not anywhere. The revolution, and you can do something with people like you people here. I'm very, I can say happy, more than happy to see that our fellow brothers and sisters think about Congo today. Because nobody, apart all these people, nobody think about to speak about what is going on in Congo. And I thank my brother here and my sister there about what they've done today. To give us this opportunity to let you know about what is going on in Congo. I think there's some pictures just came now, so you can have a look. And for a few minutes, I want to give my word to my brother so they can just carry on about what he had to say to you.
Yes, thank you very much. I thank you all for coming today in this meeting. We are so very happy, very pleased to see all these people around here to talk about there is something going in Congo, something going on in Congo, and you people, you don't know. And we people from Congo, we know what is going on in Congo. But the government of this country knows what is going on in Congo. And they don't want to say anything in the television. They don't want to show anything about what is going on in Congo because they are complices of what is going on in Congo. So, we are here with this uniform. We are here in this country. We've been living in this country for a long time. If we don't want to care about what is going on in this country, in our country, we will just stay here and live nice life, and we don't care what is going on there. So we will live peacefully here. But we don't want to live like this when our brothers and sisters are suffering in Congo. So that's why we put on in this uniform to show to the people it's not only for this uniform, but we are ready to hold the guns in our hands and fight these people down there and take back our country and try to change the system. What is going on in Africa? Because what is going on in Africa is the white men try to use the system so-called neo-colonialism. We say today we are here because of the 50 years of independence of Congo. But to me, as a Congolese, there is no independence in Congo. There was independence in Congo from, when Lumumba was alive. Since Lumumba was taken away from the post of Prime Minister, from that day, the independence of Congo was gone with Lumumba. So now, they use our brother, Mobutu Sese Seko, to take over from Lumumba, to kill Lumumba, and work together with the West. So the money will go back to them. So it's like, they say, you are independent, but you are not independent. They use somebody to work with them so they can take the money, they can control the country, and the same thing they used to control before. So Now, we found out about that. And when in Africa we have a leader who is a nationalist, the Western people, they will get in the complicity to kill that nationalist and put a dictatorship on place so people of Africa cannot advance. So the cause of the blockage in Africa is the dictatorship system. Once we stop off that dictatorship system, that will be the freedom of African people. So right now, we are ready. We need your help. We are not the enemy of the British people. We are not the enemy of the English people. Not either the Western people. But we need the Western people to understand that this is the time for the justice around the third world country. You can't imagine a country like Congo is full of riches, full of everything, and is the first poor country in the world. How come? Because when there's an election in this country, we don't vote for the Prime Minister in this country in Africa.
That's right.
Our leaders don't choose the Prime Minister for this country. But why the Western people have to choose the leader for African people? Why can't they let African people to choose their own leaders? That's exactly why we are here for. We are tired. We want to go home. But before we go home, this must be done. Thank you very much.
Press for that. Press for that. Thank you. Thank you.